taking your arms outwards, just so your palms are reaching outwards, gathering up the sides. This is gathering chi, gathering energy. Bring it up and take it down. Breathing out, breathing in, sorry, as you take your arms out, and breathing out as you're gently pushing down, but it's an effortless push. And a few more like this. And if you can, as you bring your arms out to the side, just start to bring your chest up like someone's just tugging your t-shirt slightly. And this is going to put your back into a very slight extension. It's giving you a little bit of stretch. And that's one of the sort of biases. It's one of the things I want to emphasize in an osteoporosis sort of awareness class and bone building. And a couple more like this. And then just let your arms hang. Check in with your feet. We've probably all got shoes on. Feet are facing forwards. Small gap between. It can be a bit wider if you're feeling a bit wobbly. And we're just going to shift our weight slightly back and forwards. So if you're sitting, it's on your sitting bones. If you're standing, it's on your feet. And you might feel it just tip slightly into your toes and back into your heels. And then we'll soften our knees slightly, and we're just going to go into some pelvic tilts, just a little bit, just to mobilize your back, your lumbar spine, just a little bit. Hands wherever they feel comfortable, using your out breath. We're just warming through different parts of the body that we're going to use. And then making that smaller and growing tall. We're going to go into heel raises, or you're either going to rock forwards and backwards on your feet is another option if you find it difficult to go onto your toes. You can use balance assistance for this. So we're just gently raising up and down. If you want to drop down and put in a drop here, you can do, if that's what you've been comfortable with. And with these sort of impacts, some of you look really comfortable with that. It's picking the things that you are comfortable with and mixing it up a little bit. I find heel drops are the easiest ones to do in public. If I started hopping in public, I think, it might look a bit weird. But if I'm in the kitchen, I do sometimes hop. That's it. And then we're going to swing the arms forwards a little. Starting to move the body just a little bit with that. Let the hips go forwards and backwards. The legs are straightish, and it's like you're just trying to send your bum back and close a drawer. Lovely. Or you're hinging forwards on your chair. That's it. And then arms down a moment, placing your hands behind your back and just feeling the sort of bony bit that leads into the squishy bit. So rest your hands there. Maybe taking your legs a little wider, and then the same hip hinge, send your bum back, keeping your back straight, your head doesn't dip. Lovely. And the bit you're feeling there, that's your sacrum. And it can be a helpful area to touch at times. Great. I can see you getting more confident with this. I see people just larger range of movement. But just go with where it's good for you today. Last one. Giving your shoulders a roll. That's it. And then if you're sitting, slide your hands up and down your thighs. If you're standing, just swish your arms, letting your whole body move. If you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, you don't normally want to separate your waist and body and do a big twist, but this whole body movement is fine. And you can have your hips facing forwards and still rotate, but it's just a smaller turn. You don't want to wring yourself out. We need to be able to keep that twist, a degree of twist, because there's going to be times in your everyday movements when you're going to need to turn, getting out of a car, for example. That's it. And then bringing yourself back to the facing forward. Now we're going to do something just with our body weight, so we don't need anything extra for this. Kate, if you watch us first and then see what you think about it. This is my leg that's going to stay still. This leg's going to move, and I'll show you the version on the chair in a moment. We're going forwards and backwards. My legs are slightly bending, just like I'm walking, forwards and backwards, but this leg doesn't come off the floor. So we're doing about 8 of these, so keep going and count for your own 8. And if you're sitting, tuck one foot back and the other forwards, and you can hinge and you can give that foot a little tap and forwards. You can't get as much momentum, but you could always practice this standing as well. I think you're probably up to 8. We're going to stay in the same position. Don't forget which leg has been the static leg, otherwise it's going to get very confusing. So now, that was like the sort of gentler version of the exercise. This is going to be stronger. When we come forwards, so that legs come forwards, then I want you to send your bum back and bend, a bit like you're about to sprint. Yeah, lovely. And then you can stand up, take that leg back, come forwards, have a little sit back, send that bum back, lovely. Perfect, and keep that going. I think that was 3. And if you're sitting, hinging the weight forwards, either putting your hands here or you could hold them on your chest, but hands here might be better because you're putting a little bit more weight through, and then holding it forwards, that's it. So remember, when you come forwards, the bum goes back and you feel a pull along that bit, that's it. Send that bum right back. If you've done 8, now I'm going to have a little wiggle. Same side still. This is the last thing we're doing for this side, because we're going to repeat it on the other side. Take yourself back to that position with your bum back, and we're going to hold it. And the arms are going to slowly swing forwards and backwards. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then come to standing. And now we have a break. So this one, you're probably feeling it or in the legs. It's legs and bum. It's strength work for the legs and the bum. So you can walk around, have a drink, sit, whatever you want to do as you're in between. And then we're going to repeat it on the other side. So the other leg is the leg that stays in place, the foot stays in place, and it's forwards and backwards. Let your arms just naturally, like you're walking, but it's a short journey. That's 4, 1, 6, 7, and 8. And then we're going to start taking it into sitting back as we come forwards, and then go back. A little pause. Oh, I'm wobblier on this side. You might find it's different on this side. Now, the wider your legs are as you do this, the more stable you're going to be. It is partly balance, so you can bring your legs in a little if you want to challenge your balance more. I think we're on 7, but don't completely quote me on that. I think this is 8. Have a little break for a moment, and then we're going to hold that position, that last one, and the arms are going to go forwards and backwards for 8. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stand up.
That's the closest to speed skating I'm ever going to get.
If you think speed skating, though, that is such a great thing to think, because it gets you into that low position with your bum. It's getting the bum back that's the key. If you're forwards like this and you're sitting down like that, it's not going to pull on those bits. And it's really thinking about sending the bum back. Right, just wiggle, whatever. You need to rub your own bum, whatever feels nice. For this next one, we're not going to use the band straight away, but we are going to use the band in a minute. So have your band ready in front of you. Right, we're going to do this sort of in several different ways. The first way we're going to do it is put your hands just on your chest. Stand a little wider. And it's, again, like we're having someone pull our top and bring our chest up. You're just bringing your chest up. So we're going to do it with a breath. We're going to do 4 like this. So take a breath in. As you breathe out, feeling your hands against your chest, just bringing your chest up. As you breathe in, bring it down. Breathing out, bring it up. Breathing in, bring it down. It's a small movement. Breathing out, coming up. In, coming down. Last one like this. And down. Now take your hands to that sacrum part, the sort of bony of your butt. Same thing, but your hands are in a different place, and I've put them here so you can feel if you're starting to push forwards, and you could also put them like low waist, that sort of a bit higher up, because what I don't want you to do is this sort of arching like that. So you're getting a little bit of feedback. Breath in, breath out, chest up, breathing in, coming down, breathing out, chest up, in, coming down, out, chest up, in, coming down, out, chest up, in, coming down, and then bring your arms out. Little moment, wriggling. We're now going to do another set. It's the same exercise, but it's with resistance. So if you were doing this in a few weeks' time, you might think you're going to do the whole set like we're about to do it now, both sets with your resistance, and not do it with this. If you're having a day when you don't feel like doing resistance, you can use your hands in either place. You're going to get benefits about back extension, this one. Take your band, you're placing it as low as it can go. So if you're standing, it's like this. If you're sitting in the chair, it's in that hip crease, and you'll need enough band so that your arms can hang really far down by your sides. The arms are going to be straight. So you might find if you are standing, some of you are going to be up here because your arms aren't as long, some of you are going to be lower down. And your hands are a bit wider than your shoulders. You're going to be pulling back. My band's quite tight. It doesn't need to stretch very much. You just need to feel resistance as you pull back. Your chest is going to go up a little bit. So we're going to do 8. You don't have to do all 8. So you decide what's going to work for you. Breathing in and breathing out. Feeling that chest come up with a gentle pulling back. Breathing in. Relaxing off, breathing out, pulling back, little fingers are going towards the back. Breathing in, easing off, breathing out, pull back, that's 3. Breathing in, easing off, breathing out, chest up. Got 4 more. Got 2 more. Shoulders are really nice and low with this one because your arms are as long as they can go. I think we're on our last one. And then drop your band and wriggle, walk around, little side to side with your bum. Now for the next exercise, we're going to do bicep curls. We've done bicep curls last time we were doing our exercises, so if you've been doing them quite a lot, you might want to use your weights or your resistance band all the way through. For the first one, I'm going to show you resistance band. For the second one, I'm going to show you weights. You can use whichever you prefer. If you're using a band, the band goes under one foot and that foot goes in front of you. And your weight is between your front and your back foot. It's not bent, you're not forwards or backwards, and you're going to be pulling up like that. If you're using weights, you can have one foot in front and your weights are just going to be either side of you. If you're sitting, band in front just the same. And you're probably going to find if you're sitting, this leg is more in your midline area and this other foot is either going to be tucked under or out to the side or wherever it can comfortably go. So we're all in our positions with or without resistance. So when we do this one, really concentrate on that pause as we bring the knuckles towards our shoulders, okay? Breathing in and breathing out, squeeze. We'll just pause there and then release, nice and slow. And then squeeze, breathing out. Nice slow release, beautiful. Squeeze, breathing out, bring them up. Slow release, I think that's 3. Squeeze again. Slow release, gorgeous. 5. Slow release. 6. Slow release. 7. Slow release. And 8. Slow release. And then place them down. Ease off. Okay, lovely. We're going to go same leg forwards. Different exercise. We're going to repeat those on the other side, but I'm going to give you a different exercise with this leg forward. You can do this with the weights or the band. And this time, we're going to do 4. I'll show you what it looks like. So if you're doing it with the band, I've got to change my hand position with the band so they're coming up through. Coming up, and then I'm pushing up and ahead, and I am not straight armed. I'd have to slacken my band off to straighten my arms upwards. I find this one challenging. Let's put it that way. My upper body strength is a work in progress for me. If you're doing it with your weights, you bring them up, taking them, see I've got them forwards, think in front of your forehead. Personally, I'm finding that easier with the weights than with the band, so I'm going to do it with the band on this side and I'll swap over to the weights on the other side. Just 4, and you could do this with no weights at all and just get used to the movement, okay? Right, breath in. As we breathe out, bicep curl, and then the arms are going forwards and ahead. Think in front of your forehead-ish. Could go a bit higher. And then take it down slowly and take the slack off. That's it. Breathing out, squeeze and ahead. That's it. Lovely. Slowly down. Perfect. 2 more. Squeeze and ahead. Slowly down. Last one. Squeeze, just lifting them up any way you can. You can see mine are not straight. Some of yours are straight. We're all going to be different on this one. Oh, slowly down and then release. Now you might have noticed I had a red band for that one. I had a green band when I was doing that. I can't do that with my green band. That's going to be something I will shift to as I keep doing this program. So it's another thing you can change, is swap things around as you're doing this. You don't have to stick with the same weights, using a weight at all, bands, you can mix it up. Right, we're going to do that on the other side with the other leg forwards. So I'm going to do it with weights this time. We're going to do the 8 bicep curls first. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, squeeze, and then slow down. Breathing in, breathing out, slow down, breathing out, slowly down, breathing out, squeezing that little pause, slowly down, 3 more, squeeze, and down, squeeze, and down, last one, squeeze, slowly release, and take them down. Have a little wriggle. And then same position again, get your band, get your weight. We're doing 4 because you can feel it's a strong exercise. This is one that I build the reps up gradually over time. I think 4 is enough. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to squeeze and then push ahead. That's it. Lovely. Slowly back and down. Beautiful. Breath in. Breath out, squeeze, and then push ahead. And then bring it back and down, breathing in. Squeeze, breathing out. Push ahead. That's it. Bringing it down, breathing in. Last one, squeeze. Push ahead. Bringing it down. Placing them down. Having a wriggle, having a drink, a little bit of flowy movement, whatever you feel you need. So this is like a good time to put in something different, something where we're not actually lifting a weight, but I'm going to put in 10 impacts now. So you can either do 10 heel drops, you could do 10 little jumps, that would look like that. You could do 10 hops on each foot. You could mix it up, do 5 of each if you don't want to do 10 today. If you're doing stamps like that, you need to do 1, 1, 2, 2. So in your own time, do 10 of whatever you fancy, or watch or do fewer. Everybody good? You all look good. Right, we're now going to do, it's a deadlift sort of exercise, but I want to make this a bit more functional. Now, you know the deadlift from the sort of the big weight, and people go like that and lift it to here and then put it down again. So it's that sort of movement, but I want you to put this into a scenario where you think you're using it at home. So your options for this, you could do it with your weights by your side. So if I have my weights by my side here, I'm going to send my bum back and reach down, stand, put them down. And that's what it would look like with weights. If I was doing it with a band, I'm going to get my tighter band because I want that level of resistance, and it goes between my feet. And I send my bum back, and I'm going to have quite a short distance so I can feel that I really have to stretch it to stand. There's that option. If all this holding is really uncomfortable for the hands, this is why I started mentioning things like a laundry basket. So it might be that that's more comfortable to lift up when you're standing. It can have weight in it. I don't think I would put that sort of weight in it because it's just going to roll around. But things like books, or towels, something like that, things that are heavy that you could change the weight of, you could do it with something like this. Today, you might even do it just with the laundry basket itself, or it might be that holding something like a bag and going down and grabbing that bag is more comfortable than lifting the weights, but you can put the weights inside it. So it's just options. We're going to do 2 sets. We'll do the first set with nothing. So you're just going to get that action of the hip hinge. Your legs can bend a little bit as you bend down, and just touching downwards like you're going to pick those weights or the band, and then stand up. That's it. And down and up. Down, sending that bum back, back stays straight. That's it. And then coming up. Down and up. I think we've got 3 more. Down and up. 2 more. And up. Down and up. And then easing off. Wiggling. Now, if that's quite a strong one for you, and it can be if you have back issues, that can feel quite strong. It might be you're not going to put any resistance in today and you're just going to keep it exactly like that. Or just do a little hip hinge like this. That could be an option, just to practice that movement. Or we can now add the resistance from your bands, your weights, your washing basket, whatever you fancy. So make your choice. I'm going to go for my band, I think. And we're going to do 8 just the same. So get yourself into position with your equipment or without it. Take your breath in. Bend down. And as you breathe out, stand up. Breathing in, coming down. Breathing out, standing up. Lovely. In, coming down. Out, standing up. And we've got 5 more. That's it. Lovely. 3 more. 2 more. And this is the last one. And then take whatever you've got, either put it down or let go of the band. Give it a little wiggle out. I'm just going to mention Vicky's using kettlebells. So they're like the weight with a big handle over the top. And that was nice because I could see Vicky using both hands on one kettlebell, which gives you a nice sort of close, it stops the arms going outwards to the side, and it can be really nice if things feel unstable. I don't have kettlebells, they're sort of on my list, but that look really good.
I've got weighted Pilates balls.
Oh, they work well as well, yes.
I do, because I haven't got to tightly grip. I can't unlock my hand when I do that, so a wide grip.
Yes, they're really nice. Really good. It's seeing you all do it so differently and making it work for you. It's just the best. It's exactly how it should be. Right. Now we are going to, let me just check where we're going now. I think we're going to go, down to the floor or down to a bed. So down to a lying position. If you don't want to do lying today, you can watch this and sort of store it up for when you're doing things on your bed or on your floor. Some of these moves you're going to be able to do sitting, but it's not all going to work sitting. So take yourself to your position today. You want your weights, you want a band next to you, and it's going to be a band rather than weights, because you're going to find it really difficult to put weights because they just roll off. And if you want to take your shoes off, this might be a time to take your shoes off, but you don't have to. And as always, taking your time in this, because this is one of those, remember, transitions, take your time, and transitions is changing your position from one position to another. So if you're doing this at home, you can always put yourself, you haven't got to worry about the camera when you're not doing it with me. You can do it any way you fancy, but take your time now. Don't hurry. It's really important that you get yourself comfortable and that you move just in your own pace. And when you're lying down on your back, you can just start having a wriggle side to side, maybe turning your head or swaying your knees, and just getting yourself feeling right with that change of position. You're going to need room above your head.
How much room?
And enough room to raise your arms overhead, because that's what we're going to do in a moment. And if you're sitting, you can do this in the chair, you just won't get as much stretch through your back. But I appreciate that changing positions midway through is tricky. And if you want a cushion underneath your head, place a cushion underneath. And then place your hands on your thighs and just push slightly. It might be that your arms straighten, it depends on the length of your arms. But what we're trying to do is get a little bit of extra length the back of our neck, and check that your eyes are going straight up towards the ceiling. You're not haven't got your eyes going right behind you or looking down through your legs. You're just gazing up above and trusting in hopefully my instructions so you know what you're going to do next. And then let your arms go down by your sides. And we're going to lift our arms overhead so that you're going up. They can go a bit wider, but we want the arms as straight as you can get them. They might float in the air, they might go right behind you, and then take them down again. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, take your arms back. We're trying not to move anything else in our back, so you take your time on that last bit when they're really trying to reach behind, and then take them down by your sides. And on a breath out, take your arms back. Nice and slow as you just go over the shoulders. So they reach and stretch as far as they can, but your back just stays where it is on the mat. That's it. Breathing in as you take them down. I think we've got 4 more left to go. Going back when you're ready. That's it. And then bring them down, breathing in. Back and stretch them as long and as straight as you can. That's it. And we've got 2 more. That's it.
Sorry.
Last one. And then bring your arms down by your sides and just let everything have a little flop, a little sway. Perfect. So now we're going to do something that's probably going to be very familiar, and we're going to do some pelvic tilts into bridges. No resistance. So if you're seated, you could still do the pelvic tilt. You're limited for bridging in the seated position. But if you're lying down and you're on your bed or your mat, you might want to bring your feet a little bit closer towards you. We're going to take a breath in. As we breathe out, feel the breath go from your belly, and you're starting to bring your pubic bone towards your nose, letting your bum hover. And press through your feet, just let your bum come up a little, and then taking it down, rolling it down. These are articulated bridges. It's just get lots of movement through your spine. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, letting your belly deflate, letting your lower back sink down. You're rolling up pubic bone towards nose. You're taking it up a little bit higher if you can, lifting your bum, pushing through your feet, squeezing your bum. That's it. Holding briefly, rolling down. And then take a breath in when you're ready, rolling up as you breathe out. And I want you to keep going. That was, I think that was 3. I'm just going to show another option. If you are leaning against a sofa, this is if you're not lying down at the moment, but it's just another option for doing it. You can sort of articulate yourself up and down a little this way. It's a little bit limited, but it's giving you some articulation, but it's also going to take you to a place where the next move is going up and down like this. So it's a place to take you. It is quite heavy on the shoulders, that one. So if you're still going, you're probably on your last 1 or 2. Articulating. And when you're done, you can either let your legs flop out to the side so they're in a butterfly position, or you might want to put your arms out in a T shape and let your legs sway either side. And if you're sitting, you can let your knees open, or you could put your legs together and just give a little roll each side. Or I can see legs being stretched as well. Lovely. Now we're going to do a glute bridge, which is similar to what we've done, but slightly different. We'll do, I think, 4 without resistance, and then we'll do 4 with. So the difference with this is there is no articulation. We're just going to go straight up, straight down. And it's a bit like the hip hinge, but sort of the lying down version. You might want your feet slightly wider apart. And all you're going to do is take your breath in. And as you breathe out, you lift your hips and your bum straight up. And then you take it straight down. Straight up. And then down. 2 more. Breathing out, we come up. Breathing in, we come down. Last one. Out, you come up. In, you come down. And then grab your band. Place it right across your hip crease where your legs, your thigh and your belly meet. And we're holding it down as tight as you can. Now I find it tricky to hold it between my thumb and my fingers and hold down. I sort of wedge it underneath my palm. It depends on what your hand's like and how your band feels. But the idea is that the next time you lift up, you're lifting up against the resistance of your band. So just have a little experimental go of what it feels like and what the holding position is going to be like for you, because you might have to vary it on your hands. Just having a little look to see what we're all doing. Okay, and then 4 more of those. And really squeezing the bum. And when you're done, the band can come off. You can sway your legs from side to side and ease off. And then we're going to take ourselves, roll ourselves onto one side and use your hands to help roll yourself up. Take your time until you're in a seated position. And it's a comfortable seated position of your choice. So your legs just going wherever they feel good. We're just going to warm down now. All the exercises are done. Well done. So rolling your shoulders. using your breath with that. And then turning your head one side to the other. And then we're going to bring in a neck roll. So you might want to turn to one side, look up to the sky, roll down. So you're just skimming over your chest and rolling up to the other side. Or you might have some other sort of neck roll that's going to feel nice for you today. Go for that. Bring yourself back to the center. If you can extend your legs, just lengthen them away from you. They don't have to be wide, they could be straight ahead of you. And you can support yourself backwards if you want to, leaning back. So you've got a bit of height and your spine's not collapsing, it's nice and tall. But let the legs just have a little flop so your feet relax. So they can roll in and out. And then bring your toes up towards your nose, stretching them up, that's it. Feel a bit of a calf stretch. And then let them just flop again. And we'll do the same. We're going to pull the toes towards your nose. You can push away from the floor a little at the same time. That's it. And then let them flop. And then comfortable legs again, comfortable sitting. Arms out to the sides, scoop up the air. Have another look at your hands whilst you're stretching your back and bring it into your chest. You're all done. You've got a really lovely routine